A quick 2-minute Tech Tuesday. I'm going to quickly cover why I check my coolant regularly, especially between autocrosses. There's a few reasons, but we'll get into that shortly. We will specifically be talking about this BMW. It's a 2007 328i, but the concept of why you check your coolant level regularly should apply to most vehicles. The how I check the coolant will of course apply to this vehicle. Okay, so the first step in this is just taking the cap off of the overflow reservoir for the coolant. And we can see here we are very much close to the maximum. There's not a lot of play left. The other thing we're going to do is we're actually going to turn on the water pump itself. We are going to basically just put the key fob in without any feet on the pedals. Press start once, set the AC to as hot as it can go on the first fan level. We're just going to hold down the gas pedal for 10 seconds or so, and the water pump should automatically start flowing. As we can see, it is flowing, so I know there's no air bubbles. And basically by knowing that the dipstick is raised and it's flowing no problem, it lets me know that there are no levels involved at all. And while it does make a little bit of a mess, it's worth knowing you can actually see it. Some people actually recommend just leaving the cap on while you run it, but I want to make sure the stream is nice and strong, so we take a actual visual look at that. So the why on why I check coolant regularly. One, sometimes you just know you're going down on coolant level. Sometimes it just gets consumed little by little and it's hard to tell in engine behavior or if there's any smoke coming out of the exhaust or anything like that. Sometimes your oil still comes out clean and you're still using up a little bit of coolant, so it's good to check. I specifically check because most of the coolant parts on this BMW have been changed within the last year, and I've seen a lot of odd behavior over that last year after all of these changes. The radiator was recently changed. We changed some hoses with that, and shortly before that, earlier this year, we changed the water pump, the thermostat, some other hoses, and the Mickey Mouse flange, the lovely Mickey Mouse flange. And since then, I've had a couple spouts where you're driving and you get a random warning light for low coolant level, or the yellow warning light for coolant temperature. It's not as bad as the red. I've seen the red a few times, but I get it every once in a while, and it kind of makes me wonder if everything's actually working appropriately. So I like to do quick checks every now and then, and this is how you do it. I did get an indication today on coolant temperature with the yellow light. I was sitting at the stoplight and I can feel the car almost vibrating, and it was the fan working 100%, and I kind of had a feeling something was already silly. I basically just pulled into the turn lane where there was a red light, turned the car off, turned it back on, and I pulled into the space where I was going and checked it out. I didn't do anything weird after that, but luckily I had OBD2 with me, so I just plugged that in to get the coolant temperature and watch it on the drive home. That always makes a difference in feeling good about where you're going, right? But definitely worth checking it once in a while. Even if you're not checking your fuel pump, check your level. And again, if you see it move at all, you definitely want to watch it over long term and keep an idea of what's going on.